Next day's celebrations going on here in my house. As I'm here to talk about the game that happened yesterday between the Mariners and Notts County, and it was a difficult game, a real tough game, and it was two real good sides. You could tell that, who, if we talk about the first half, kind of really cancelled each other out first half. Neither side really created much first half, or anything of real major note. If we look at the team that started for the Mariners, though, David Artell made, I believe it was 6 changes to the side that played Bristol Rovers the week before, and he went with Jackson Smith, Harvey Rogers, and Maldini Kasuri came in, Cam McJanet, and the Sweens, Jaden Sweeney, Gazatori, Evan Corey, say that after a couple of pints, Dara Burns, Jamie Walker, and Charles Vernam, with Jude Sunsup Bell up front in the first half. Obviously, Notts County had Belshaw, Macari, Platt, Badu, Sarula, Ayapinda, Robertson, Jones, Mazkuya, Grant, and Ndlovu was really the sole striker up front for Notts County. The bench by the Mariners, though, had Andy Cook, Kevin Green, Jace Cabier, Clark Adore, Ty Sellers Fleming, Reece Staunton, and Terrell Warren. That was the bench that the Mariners had. Like I said, in the first half, it was sort of like a very similar to like a non-event. Really, it was sort of all no real chances were really created that first half. It was just two good sides in general, just battling. No real clear-cut chances. Both teams tried to play football. Notts County were trying to go a little bit more direct, whereas the Mariners obviously tried to build from the back and usually like to play more like the pass down the flanks, which, to be fair, Jaden Sweeney did really well. One guy that you've got to give a lot of credit to yesterday, so as I record this, was Kasuri. I thought he had probably the strongest, his strongest game so far in a Mariners shirt, just generally for the amount of defensive pump ups that he did, and it was his defensive work and his effort was without doubt absolute quality. Also from that area, you've got to say again, Harvey Rogers, what a guy. He really has been transformed. Consistently playing on that right hand side and consistently pushing forward. Not only is he looking a threat, sort of looking good defensively, he then looks a threat in pushing us further up the pitch. He was really, really good at that. Like I said, there was no real opportunities first half in the game, but it was the Mariners defended really, really well in the first half. But the tempo from both sides weren't great first half, and you could sort of feel that, and it was a good watch in a sense. In a way, it was a good watch because neither side was given an inch, and then The half-time break was 0-0. Probably Notts County edged it on maybe possession, but no real clear-cut chances. But we picked up our level ever so slightly. Well, in the second half we had to. Our tempo had to go up. Not long after the break, Jamie Walker came really close. Really, the first real save any keeper had to make. A great save by Belcher. And what a great hit by Walks. I'll tell you what, when he does hit, he can hit them, Walker. And where I was positioned, right at the side of it, I thought it was going in, and that's what made that such a good shot, but it wasn't to be. But Rogers had a fantastic header off the corner from that, and another fantastic save by Belcher to keep Rogers out. And this is what I mean by Rogers is becoming a threat, obviously, going forward, and what he does in pushing us out from the back. Obviously, Notts County, though, did up it after that, probably for about a 15-minute, 20-minute spell, with good efforts by Iapenda, which was a really good chance, but it sort of zipped across. Didn't quite make it, and Matty Dennis, same thing. That was a good ball put across, but he was just inches away from it. ndlovu had a great chance early in the second half. When Iapenda put a ball right across the 6-yard box, but just couldn't quite get on the end of it. That was probably one of the closest times where I remember going, that was close. That was really close. And then the decisive, controversial moment when ndlovu got a straight red card on 76 minutes. Now, I didn't see the incident properly because where I was positioned, there was a bit of sun peeking through. I didn't quite see it properly. I did. I watched some Notts County reaction, and obviously they were saying it wasn't a red. And when I first looked at it, I thought maybe, it was a bit harsh. Strong yellow, yes. Looking back on it again a bit more now, yes, I think the referee just about got it right. ndlovu just mistimed it. I don't think we could have argued if it had only been a yellow, a strong yellow, but at the same time, if it had been them, they'd have been screaming for it. So it's one of those sort of things that you take if you get, you're annoyed if you don't get it. I did, however, say a strong yellow initially, and I wouldn't have complained either way if he'd given a yellow. Fine, but obviously, it's funny because Martin Patterson did actually say in his post-match that he was looking to take ndlovu off just before, and he seemed a bit bewildered that the referee took out the red card. And I think that's how close it really was. So, I can understand why Notts County feel a little bit aggrieved. But again, the easiest thing to do is blame the referee. Whenever you lose, it's always the referee's fault. It's always the referee's fault. At the end of the day, what about the 76 minutes prior to the sending off? And I'd say that if that was us as well. I think, at the end of the day, probably a bit unlucky, but I can see sort of both sides to the argument. But they went down to 10 men, and the Mariners had to take advantage of that, and it took them 9 minutes. They started to feel the energy of the 1,900 strong Mariners contingent. I was surprised how quiet it was, as in Meadow Lane. It was a great atmosphere, but I was expecting to hear Notts County fans a little bit more than I did. But town fans, we were loud from. If there's one thing about this strong rivalry, I know, we don't like losing to Notts County don't like losing to us. But there is a respect rivalry as well between the two because of what's happened in the past between us. And but the goal came 5 minutes from time when the Charles Vernam, well, he did what you say a typical Charles Vernam strike. He got it on the right, he cut inside, and bash, right in the bottom right hand corner. And Belshaw had absolutely no chance. County seemed to have made some attacking changes. We did make a tweak in the second half just before Love sending off, which just tweaked the game a little bit, and I think made Unlove make the tackle that he did, because we just managed the way that it went, and at the end of the day, Jackson Smith again had one of his most best performances. A cracking save right near the end, which he had to make from a header, which he did, and it made sure the Mariners saw the game out in front of a total attendance of 12,487 fans. The Mariners come away from a rival with all 3 points. That's 1 win each between the two sides. Notts County have won here at BP. We've gone and won at Meadow Lane for the first time in the league since 2009. The first time since in the league since 2009, but the first time in the league since 2022. Ironically, in February of 22. We then won again in February of 26. So within 4 years. But you can definitely see why Notts County are up where they are, but you can also see why they lost to Shrewsbury and why we've lost to Bristol Rovers in the past. We like teams that will try and play football. And Notts County tried to do that. They're a good side. I wish them all the best for the remainder of the season. I've had to do with my personal link. But if we just look at a few stats for the game, you can see there really wasn't a lot in it. Notts County had most of the possession. You expect that, being the home side, they're going to have most of the possession, 58%. They had Not many shots different. 14, 5 on target, 12 to 4 on target. If you look at the total touches in the opposition box, 27 to Notts, 21 to Grimsby, 6 saves by Jackson Smith, only 3 by James Belshaw, but they were cracking saves. Aerial duels 22 to 26. One Notts' favour. Fouls committed 11 to 13. And 6 corners to the Mariners to 7 for Notts. If you look at the overall passes, Notts County had 466 to the Mariners 332. And they had a stronger pass accuracy, 83.7 to the Mariners 73.8. Forward passes more to Notts County, obviously having more possession. You'll probably find that they are more successful final third passes, 100 to our 73. And they put in more crosses. It was a very, very strong team performance by the Mariners, and I think that is something that we can look at from. We had to bounce back from the loss last weekend to Bristol Rovers, and what a way to respond. Notts County obviously going to feel aggrieved by the sending off. My opinion on that has slightly changed from yesterday. I suppose if it had been us, we'd have been calling for it. So that's the way I look at it. At the end of the day, like I said earlier in the video, well, for 76 minutes before that, they hadn't scored, but it does change things. The sending off does change things, but like I said, I wish Notts County all the best. We move on now to Tuesday night, when we host Salford in Sky Bet League 2. Finally a game that's finally going to get played after 2 postponements. So I'll be back with that. If you did go, let me know what you guys thought. And any Notts County people that followed me, what did you think? But it's I do wish Notts County all the best. I think they are one of the best teams in the division. And obviously you're never going to feel good when you get a loss, because we didn't last week against Rovers. So, but I just knew not to panic after even them lost to Rovers. Just not to panic. So I'll be back with a preview probably tomorrow for Salford. Until then, guys, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the game, and I will see you guys in the next one. Up the Mariners, and what a 3 points! And can I just say, I'm sure my dad would be overjoyed that we beat his side. Sorry, Dad, but I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, guys, up the Mariners, and ta-da for now. Bye bye.